Hello Model Railway fans and welcome to Dean Park. It's been a couple of months since I last brought you an update, so I have a few things to share with you over the next half an hour. First off, I show you progress on my new scratch built council flats, which is something I've been working on for a few months. Then I show you how to upgrade Hornby Mark 3 coaches with some etched and 3D printed details. The focus is then on the Cavalex Class 56, where I add a small but important detail to this new model. I round up by sharing some of the highlights of the Falkirk Model Rail exhibition, so be sure to stay tuned for that, as there are some real treats in store, especially if you're an N-gauge modeller. I've also got the usual smatterings of running shots from around the layout, showcasing a stunning new HST, some new Mark 1 and Mark 3 coaches, as well as an impressive new crane. Before I kick off this update, be sure to hit that like button and check out some of my other content from the channel. Your support is always greatly valued and appreciated. If you watched my layout tour from the beginning of the year, I talked about what I was going to put in the west end corner of the layout. This is just along from the station and at the opposite end from the gas tower scene. And what I've got here is the corner of a council estate, and I'm scratch building 3 of these council flats simultaneously, and I've obviously got a couple on the screen for you to see here at different stages of construction. This scratch build is being completely designed by me using an example of a council house block of flats in my local area. We've got a central area here for some balconies and an entrance door, and there's also similar details around the back. Everything's been scratch built apart from the brickwork and the glazing, and the brickwork comes from Southeastern Finecast, and it's a plain brick design. I've yet to decide how the flats will be positioned at the corner here. I'll be using up to 3 of these blocks of flats to replicate a larger council estate. So there'll be a car park, access road, plenty of greenery, a little park area maybe, and areas for residents hanging out there washing, that kind of thing. It's all kind of up in the air just now. I'll get the building's kind of outer bit done first, and then I'll start to play with positions. The buildings will be fully detailed inside with interior floors and lighting, and that'll come later on. As I said, I just want to get the outsides done just now so I can then work on the landscape around about them. I'm looking possibly 2 to 3 months to get this area planned and done. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to make sure everything fits and looks the part and get the angles of the buildings correct. Obviously I've not finished the buildings yet. You can see they've not got a roof on them, and that'll be designed in the next few weeks. So keep tuning in to my layout updates in the future and you'll see some progress on this council estate. When all this area is kind of done with the landscaping, it will look really cool with a train going around the sweeping curve there in front of the council estate. I've not named the council estate yet. If you have any suggestions on what it could possibly be, post those in the comment section below. I'll take a look, and you never know, I might name it after your suggestion. Since my last layout update, I've taken the liberty of refreshing and replacing the back scenes along the station side of the layout. And for those of you looking at it and thinking, they look familiar, Dave, well, you'd be right, they're exactly the same as before. I just unpeeled the old polypropylene self-adhesive ones from the ID back scenes range and replaced it with a new set. These are the Into the Town scene, and they run the full length of this particular part of the layout. The backboards here at Dean Park come in removable sections of 8 feet. So with a little bit of help from a mate of mine, Chris, I took them out. I just peeled off the old back scenes and placed the new self-adhesive ones back into position. Once I finish the council estate corner, I'll be putting the back scenes along the west end of the layout, and these will be a continuation of the Into the Town series. So it'll be flowing seamlessly around from the station side round to the gas towers at the opposite corner of the layout. And I'll be doing this in the next few months, so stay tuned for that. The newly tooled Hornby Mark III really is an impressive model. They've taken an already good product and really elevated it to current day standards. Additions from the previous tooling include new bogies with a lot more detail on them. We've got disc brakes fitted to the wheels. We've got separately fitted grab rails on the access hatches on the roof, and new roof vents fitted, which are now separately fitted as opposed to moulded on the previous tooling. We've also got some separately fitted jumper sockets here, picked out in orange, as well as kinematic couplers which are free from the bogies, and they look a lot more realistic from rail level. The ends of the coach have also been upgraded with a brand new gangway connector design and more moulded detail around the edge of this, as well as some more printed and painted detail. Yeah, the coaches are really impressive. They really do bring it up to current day standards. However, when the new power cars came out in LNER livery in the autumn of this year, there was a slight problem. The red on the power cars wasn't a match for the red on the coaches. Looking at the Hornby coach at the front, you can see the red's a little bit more muted and matches the previous released power cars and also the new ones. We've got a slightly more muted white there. It's almost like an off-white as opposed to the new ones, which are brilliant white. But with regard to other details, it is a little bit more simplistic with regard to the detail on the roof, and when I show you the gangway ends as well, they are a little bit more dated. The previously tooled coach here has been updated, and I'll go into that a little bit later. However, you can see there the gangway ends are a little bit more chunky in nature and less realistic, and there's less painted and picked out detail here as well. Now, I had all these coaches ready to join my new HST back in the autumn. However, when I did get the HST, it was a completely different shade of red from this coach, and it did irk me when you put two of them together, especially in the Flying Tomato livery, which is an all over red livery, which is imaged on the screen now. It does tend to show up that little bit. So I contacted Hornby regarding this, and they said that due to the distance or time scale between the two production runs, it was an acceptable tolerance colour difference, which I found a little bit disappointing as a response, to be honest. It's basically down to Hornby using more than one factory. One factory produces the coaches and the other the power cars. This in itself's a little bit confusing. You'd think if you're producing a complete train, you'd produce it in the same factory to ensure that the colours matched. But maybe I'm just being a little bit too simplistic with my thought process here. From the roof, you'll probably see a little bit more of the upgrades on the new tooling. The roof vents on the previous tooling are a little bit flat, and the grab rails are moulded in detail. It was a little bit frustrating actually to have brand new highly detailed Mark IIIs in the stunning livery, only for them to not match the Hornby power cars that were released the year later. I'll be keeping the new ones in case of a future LNER power car. You never know, it may match in the colour scheme. So with all this in mind, I set about modernising some of my existing Hornby LNER stock from the previous tooling to make it run with my new power cars. I added some jumper sockets there. You can see them in orange with the black cabling coming out of the back, and these are from Track 3D railway parts. I painted these up in Rail Match orange and some matte black, and these are just glued to each of the four corners of the coach. I fitted some Hunt magnetic couplers into the NEM sockets. These sockets themselves are connected to the bogies, which from a rail level doesn't look as realistic, but when you're going around the layout, you don't see the difference, to be honest, between the old and the new tooling. One of the main upgrades to this area is the brake disc detail, and these are etched, and I got them from Will's Workbench, and these are just glued onto the existing wheel set. I'll put the links to all of the websites used for the detailing parts in the description below.
It's been quite a busy few months here at Dean Park for new additions to the fleet. At the back of the shot there you'll see some of the new Bachmann Mark 1 coaches, the slight updated tooling which now includes the correct gangway ends with steps removed, and also it has new bogies with pickups, which is ideal if you want to add lighting to your coaches. I've also completed my GNER HST set with the buffet car there, and also I've got an EFE crane there which is crying out for a little bit of weathering, which will happen some point in the future. I've also been busy detailing some of my existing fleet. In this case it's been the Cavalex Class 56, and I've used the Model U railway and line side figures specifically designed for this model. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at what we've got on offer. Model U really are the market leaders when it comes to 3D printing figures. They have a vast range. I'll put the link to their website in the description below. The range is always growing, and when I got the Cavalex 56 models earlier in the year, and I've got 2 of those in the fleet just now, they came without any drivers. So I looked on Model U, and lo and behold, they've actually got specific drivers for the Cavalex Class 56. These come in a pack of 2. I suppose you can put the second driver as a second man in one loco, or you could do what I'm doing and put a driver in 2 Class 56s. The seating from the Class 56 model is removable, and this is outlined in the instructions within the Class 56 box, and the 3D printed ones come with exactly the same seat as part of the 3D printed model, and they just slot perfectly into the hole left by the seat that you've removed. You can remove the full cab area with the seating attached, but if you're careful enough you can just wiggle the existing seating loose and plonk the new 3D printed painted up ones in position, and they really do look the part. I've painted the drivers in dark blue with white shirt and tie, and then I've dry brushed the dark blue jacket and hat just with a light grey, just to bring out some of the detail and the creases in the clothing on these fantastic 3D printed models. I didn't know they were actually based on Cav and Alex until I posted something on my Facebook page that I'd been doing this task, and Cav pointed out that the driver in the cab now is based on him, with the other guy obviously Alex, and I'd missed out Cav's little goatee beard. So you never know, I might take the driver out and add that little bit on, or maybe Cav can just be clean shaven for this particular job that he's got of driving this Class 56. I say it really sets the model off. The Class 56 is too good a model not to add some driver detail, and I really am pleased that I've added them in now. The body is a breeze to get off, so you'll not have any problems there, and as I said, with a little bit of patience, fitting the drivers is fairly straightforward. I quite enjoy painting figures, and these are another 2 from Model U, and they're workmen outside the Nairn factory in their brown overalls and work gear, one having a coffee, maybe one just out for a blether. I enjoy painting these things up. I don't profess to be an expert at it, but I enjoy picking out a little bit of detail on these magnificent 3D printed models. I'll be working more on the Nairn area here in the next couple of months, adding some more detail that I've kind of outlined previously but not quite got around to doing yet, so stay tuned for more progress here.
Coming this December, the Dean Park Christmas competition returns to the channel, with lots of great prizes to be won, including Bachmann Sound Fitted Deluxe and Hellion locos, Accurascale wagon packs, superb locomotive prints courtesy of Stuart Black, as well as vouchers from Model U, Rainbow Railways and West Hill Wagon Works, and I've also got some family passes to give away for some model railway shows. It'll bring some festive cheer, and it's great fun to enter as well, so keep an eye out. This is not to be missed.
Yes. Taps into dogfish in the hole. Taps the shark and dogfish. Shrimp them around and then stick them with the sea lines. Okay.
Well, that's all I've got for you in this update. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have any feedback, drop that in the comments section below. Don't forget to keep an eye out for the Christmas competition due next week, as there are some great prizes to be won. In the meantime, enjoy your modelling, take it easy, and cheers for now.